My name is Kylie Lauk. Please excuse my appearance. I've been sick all day. But I wrote my persuasive speech on why I think everyone should buy native deodorant. As someone who does in fact sweat on a daily basis, I like to have a deodorant that keeps me smelling fresh and clean all day. I am also typically picky when it comes to the formulas of the deodorants I use. In particular, I hate when my deodorant forms like little pills or like balls under my arms. I would also say that deodorants that I typically lean towards have a clean formula. And I was introduced to Native by someone I follow on Instagram. I had heard about the product before, but I wasn't super familiar with it. I didn't know much about the brand or even about the deodorant itself. I had just seen it, glimpsed at it in the stores, but didn't know much about it. I would also say that I'm a very easily influenced person when it comes to things like skincare, hair care, and deodorants. I think that everything is worth trying at least once just to see if it's right for you. And with that mindset or logic, I've definitely had plenty of products that I've tried that haven't worked for me, but that's just part of trying things out. Now, native deodorant is by far my favorite deodorant I've ever tried, and it has been a staple in my morning routine for about a year now. As of the latest review on December 2nd of 2022, the CDC reminds us that many diseases and conditions can be prevented or controlled through simple personal hygiene. While bodily hygiene starts by making sure to shower daily, following up with a good deodorant is just as important. Applying Native's deodorant every single day, and occasionally again before workouts, is my personal way to stay fresh all day. Nobody likes to smell, and with Native, you don't have to. Native as a brand does acknowledge that there can be up to a 14-day trial period, basically a 14-day wait before the deodorant starts to work or you start to see results if you're switching from an antiperspirant. So the difference between an antiperspirant and a deodorant are as follows. An antiperspirant deodorant works by initially clogging your sweat glands to prevent the release of sweat, and it can take up to 14 days before that has cleared out. Skin conditions or reactions that can be a result of harmful deodorants include axillary dermatitis. Aesthetic dermatologist Jay Klin writes in September of 2008 in the National Library of Medicine about a case with a 42-year-old man presented with recurrent axillary dermatitis. According to Healthline.com, in June of 2023, axillary dermatitis is a condition of the skin otherwise known as eczema and can appear as red patches under the arms. It typically happens or occurs when there's a problem with the skin barrier that makes the skin more susceptible to irritants and allergens. Written by Courtney Campbell, updated September 5th, 2023. Although research on whether aluminum is harmful to our health isn't definitive, there is something about putting natural products on my body that feels more, natural. Lee explained that although there are studies out there that link aluminum to cancer, Native has done none of these studies themselves and therefore cannot and does not make these claims. So if you don't know, Native's whole line, their whole motto, their kind of their thing is that they are aluminum-free deodorants. Because they are a deodorant and not an antiperspirant, they don't need those aluminum salts that could possibly be harmful to your skin barrier. Another quote from the same source says, The natural formula was just as easy to apply as normal deodorant, though it felt a little harder and less smooth. Bonus, I didn't find any streaks or white marks on my clothing either. Now, I would say that most of my athletic clothing is tight and more form-fitting, so I'm always applying my deodorant before I get dressed because it would be significantly more difficult to do so afterward. And I have noticed that when I use this deodorant, I don't get those white streaks like on the sides of your shirt or on the front, sometimes on the back. I would counter, however, that the product's formula is still smooth and applies smooth, but the entire stick itself has a harder texture than typical deodorants. Like applying it is still smooth, but the texture of the stick itself is more like, it would be harder if you were to like roll it all the way up and like squeeze it. It would be harder than the alternative. Aluminum-free deodorants fight odor, while antiperspirant deodorants with aluminum fight sweat itself. Now, sweat is our body's healthy way of cooling itself down. Sweat from our underarms is activated by the nervous system through the apocrine glands, or apocrine, however it's properly pronounced. Native's website does make a statement on the differences between antiperspirant and a deodorant. As mentioned above, while the deodorant is not an antiperspirant, the formula was designed to absorb moisture and keep you dry. Native uses sodium bicarbonate, or baking soda, and magnesium hydroxide. Native includes probiotics like Lactobacillus, acidophilus, and others to reintroduce healthy bacteria to your skin biome after neutralizing odor-causing bacteria. Native also has a sensitive line of deodorants, still without the aluminum salts, but without the baking soda as well. Although the label does say that it's for individuals with sensitive skin, the product is not limited to use by only those with sensitive skin. Native deodorant is not only a deodorant that smells good and that works, but it keeps you smelling good all day, even through working out and activity. And when looking for a new deodorant, I hope that you take into consideration what all I have mentioned today and are open to trying something new.